Hello everybody, I'm Krasi, and today I will talk about how to use the moon to plan your routine events. This is so useful and it's so important. Of course, such topic can take many hours to be discussed in detail, but I will try to put it in a very understandable and simple way so that you can really benefit from it. Even people who are not astrologers, just to be able to look at the sky and know how to benefit from the phases of the moon, for example, because actually this is so ancient, and in the ancient times people would plan every activity via the phases of the moon. Agriculture, of course. Even now I'm so happy to see that more and more people are using again, going back to our roots and using again the knowledge of agriculture with the cycles of the moon, because I can tell you that in my family we use this already for many years and it works. You just follow up the path of the moon and you plant your plants or your vegetables, your fruit, just following. And this is so important. Also, how to plan new activity like starting your new website. Of course, this needs very serious consideration, but still, I will show you how to do this so that you avoid the most common mistakes that people would do. And I will tell you from experience that once I mislooked or I just misvalued, so to say, one particular phase of the moon, and I said, oh, okay, this will not play such important role. I will put a website on this particular day. And I remember how I failed just because I really didn't take into consideration this such important thing. So I will tell you basic rules. Remember, this is not all, and it can't be all, but in the future I'm planning to make complete either course or only on electional astrology, which is about how to plan different very specific activities, like when to go to the doctor, when to perform surgery on your kidneys, or when to not to, or where to start a new job, or where to approach somebody, or there's so many details. This will be an overview, which still will be very useful because it will be applicable for each one of us. So of course I will share a screen with a random chart, which I have on my screen because it is only to illustrate. But just to tell you that there is nothing more important than the moon when we are planning our activities. There is nothing more important than the moon. People in ancient world would take the moon into consideration when getting married, when starting new things, when planting, when just name it, any activity. Without the moon, actually there is no activity. The moon is the most important planet which is carrying our activities, which is like, she's like a lens on every event that is about to happen. There is nothing more significant than the moon. So the moon shouldn't be overlooked. And also you will see that everywhere, and I have separate video about this, on the invisibility of the moon and what the modern astrology now is calling new moon. How purposefully this is being misused, on purpose, so that people cannot really benefit from the phases of the moon. So let me share my screen with you, and I'm starting to give you just 4 or 5 basic rules that when you take into consideration, you will see already how things would be easier, would come easily into place, and you will be able easily to plan your events. Okay, I'm sharing my screen with you. Here is a chart, which is, I'm not sure even, it's a recent chart. So, look, a really randomly chosen chart. So we look at the moon. I will not talk about each lunar day, because then it will really become a webinar that will take 10 or 20 hours. I will not describe each lunar day, but I will give you the overview, how to understand the significance of the lunar day so that you can use it. Now, when the day actually starts on the lunar calendar, how this was approached in ancient Babylon, where everything comes from. So first, this is the line of the ascendant and descendant. Of course, this is here the horizon, what I'm showing you. And when the sun is below the horizon, and when the moon appears above the horizon, so here would be the sun, here would be the moon. And when the moon is already visible, not when the moon is above the horizon, but still hidden in the rays of the sun, but when the moon is already to be seen, and if you can do observing, like you go out and you see whether you will see the moon for the first time, this is the first lunar crescent, not what they call now new moon, because what they call now new moon, the moon is still conjunct with the sun and the moon is still invisible, and they would tell you, oh, start your new business on the new moon. No, because what they call new moon is while the moon is still invisible, and this is disinformation purposefully. So the sun will be here under the horizon, and the moon appears here for the first time. And this is the first lunar day. So this is actually the beginning of the new lunar month. And this is actually what you're looking for, because the younger the moon, the more potential you will have in every new event that you're planning. I would never recommend to start new business, new website, new whatever what, when the moon is not young, because the younger the moon, the more potentials it has, it hides for you. So, and from here on, you're counting the lunar days. Not every lunar day we'll discuss now, but we'll discuss some critical lunar days. So the moon appears here, and when you count 7 days, the moon appears on the high on the meridian, and this is wonderful. But when the moon is high on the meridian, she is forming a square, and this square, the 7th lunar day, is typically considered critical, and it has 2 complex energies, and therefore it's not so advisable to start any new initiative or to do surgery on the 7th lunar day. So avoid the 7th lunar day. And then the moon continues to be waxing, to grow, and this is the lunar circle, which is waxing. The waxing moon, so here started the path of the moon, and this is the waxing moon until she reaches opposition with the sun. So imagine here is the moon, this is the sun, and they're just against, in opposition to each other. But before becoming in exact opposition, oftentimes, not always, but in the 90% of the cases, you're having the so-called cosmic setting phase, and this is a very critical phase, and I also don't advise this phase to be used for any particular significant new events. At this even day, the people in the ancient world wouldn't do anything. They would spend time in the temple, or they would do they would contemplate. They wouldn't do much. And then when the moon is having the exact opposition with the sun, or a little bit after, this is called the acronical rise phase, where the sun and the moon actually are having much more constructive relationship. And this is better in terms of energies. It's like more harmonious, and it is better for your activities. However, the full moon is never so appropriate when you will be doing new initiatives. But still, it's much better than the 13th lunar day, for example. Then, from this particular moment, after the full moon, the exact opposition, the moon is waning. The waning moon is not so advisable to be used for new beginnings, because this moon is also a bit slowing down, and this moon is having different nature. Even in some cultures, they call this moon bad. I don't think this moon is bad, because depends what kind of purpose you will have in your mind to use this moon for. So you can see so many people born when the moon was waning, and they are having very good destinies and fortunate destinies, so it's not necessarily a bad moon. But how to see, to distinguish a bad from a good moon? The waning moon is more fitting, it's more in harmony with the night chart. So when the sun is below the horizon and the moon is waning, this fits much better. And this is much more harmonious when you will be choosing a date for your future event. When the moon is above the horizon, when the sun is above the horizon, like now, it is much better to have waxing moon, which will be actually after the sun. So see, this particular moon here is following the sun and is very soon will make conjunction with the sun, exact conjunction. So, and this moon is already invisible because the sun's rays are burning this moon. So this is waning moon, and this chart is a day chart, and this moon is not in harmony with this chart and will not promise very successful life if this is a natal chart, and will also not promise very successful event if this is an event chart. It may not really have the full option for developing the event and so on. Other thing to consider, a very, very important thing to consider, is that the moon doesn't like the ascendant. So if you will be planning an event about starting a new business, never put the moon on the ascendant. The moon doesn't like the ascendant. She will make your event unpredictable and very unstable. Another thing I will tell you, you need fast moon. If the moon is fast, your event will bring beautiful results fast. But how to see this? Now, the moon shouldn't make less than 12.5 degrees in one cycle. So this would say that if the moon is here, you need to make the complete cycle and count the degrees the moon is making. And it's very easy. You just put the moon here and then count and then divide by the days. And then you see if the moon is passing in one day less than 12.5 degrees. Not good. This moon is not appropriate for your business. So I would say don't take this moon in your election when you're planning election chart for your new business. Try to have as young as possible moon for electing chart for your new business. Of course, what I forgot to tell you, the moon shouldn't ever be afflicted. The moon should be very happy. Yes, the moon should be young, but moon in Scorpio, remember I told you when we started that I made terrible mistake when planning one event, one business event. And then I put the moon in Scorpio. And I remember that the sun was in Libra. And I was thinking, oh, first lunar crescent in Scorpio, this would be great. I know the moon in Scorpio is not good, but I thought, doesn't matter. The moon is very powerful in Scorpio because still it is first lunar crescent, and also because you have royal star there, so it's a powerful sign. It's very much about healing, about deep philosophy. So wonderful. No, it was not good. I remember my failure with this website a long time ago because I kind of ignored that the moon shouldn't ever be detriment, and the moon is detriment in Scorpio and fallen. So the moon should not be bad placed. The moon should not be afflicted by a malefic planet. That's for sure. Absolutely not. And also, you should watch from which planet the moon is separating and to which planet the moon is applying. Like now, look, the moon is in the 22nd degrees of Aries. How, to which planet is the moon applying? Now, is there another planet in the 23rd degree somewhere? No, but there is Neptune in the 24th degree. So the next aspect, only in an hour or so, the moon will be sextile with Neptune. This is not bad because Neptune is ruling Pisces, but still Pisces is the 8th house of this election. So I would say no, absolutely don't choose this election for starting your business because the moon is invisible, because the moon applies to Neptune, even though it's by sextile, Neptune is ruling the 8th house. So it's kind of blockage. You don't need this in your election. Another very, very important thing I will share with you is, of course, that you have to look at the speed of the signs which are rising on the ascendant, because you don't want to have ascendant with sign which is slow, because then the results that you're hoping for will come slowly, and you want fast results, right? So the fast rising signs on the horizon are this part here: Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Gemini. You want them on your ascendant because they will give fast results. So this is when you're planning your election chart for new business. But still, let's put it this very much into natural observation of the sky, and always look at the sky to see the first lunar crescent, to see, like you see, it's very easy. In our culture, people would say when the moon is forming P, it is waxing moon, the upper side of the P. And when it's the other way around, when it is forming a C, ABC, it is a waning moon. So this is how you can see. The smaller, the thinner the crescent of the P is, the younger the moon is. So this is how you can see it at the sky already. So also very useful is, for example, you have now these free softwares on your phone where you can really put the phone on the sky and observe and see in which constellation the moon is right now. So this is also important. Then at least you avoid the moon to be in Scorpio or the moon to be in Capricorn. So this is also very important. And also when you see where the moon is, you try not to have the moon afflicted or with a malefic planet or afflicted by. Also, the moon is to receive a harmonious, good aspect from benefic planet is blessing. This is very good. So watch the young moon to take place in your charts. Watch also which sign is rising. Count the degrees. And this is so easy. You can just do it manually with a simple calculator. I do this each time. My program doesn't offer such service, so I do it myself. So this is also very important. And keep in mind that the waxing moon could be good. The waning moon, the decreasing lunar crescent will be good only when the moon is, when the sun is below the horizon. And avoid the 7th lunar day, the 13th lunar day, even the 14th lunar day, it can be critical, and avoid the 21st lunar day, which you count from the appearance of the lunar crescent, not from what they call now new moon, because this is a scam. This is not true. It's a way to disinform people. So I think this was useful. Your comments are welcome. Also, if you will be interested in very detailed course or webinar, write me. I would be happy to hear your opinion. Thank you.